Visitors flock to Buckingham Palace to catch a glimpse of the royal guards, known for their immaculate uniforms and striking presence. With their serious expressions and stiff postures, they look like living statues, almost frozen in place. But these guards are much more than just photo ops. They are skilled soldiers on duty.
Do not touch the reins!
And messing with them can result in serious trouble.
Don't be an idiot.
You can't do nothing.
Come with us as we dive into the stories of those who tried to outsmart the royal guards and learned the hard way how mistaken they were.
Bye-bye! Get off the road! Stay off the thing!
10. Hands off the horse. This time, we're talking about a woman eager to snap a memorable photo next to a Queen's Guard outside Buckingham Palace. But her experience took an unexpected turn. This blonde-haired woman confidently moved closer to the guard, who was mounted on a magnificent black horse, thinking she'd get an amazing picture. However, as she reached for the reins to pose, the guard issued a booming command. Stand back from the Queen's lifeguard, don't touch the reins.
Step back from the Queen's lifeguard! Do not touch the reins!
Startled, the woman quickly stepped back, likely not expecting such a strong reaction. As we've mentioned before, the Queen's Guards are known for their stoic, unwavering presence, but they have strict rules about personal space, especially concerning their horses. Horses can be unpredictable, and guards are trained to keep tourists at a safe distance to prevent any potential mishaps. Unfortunately, the woman's close approach and attempt to grab the reins crossed a line, prompting that loud and direct warning. The video of the incident quickly went viral, eliciting mixed reactions. While some viewers sympathized with the woman, many emphasized the importance of respecting boundaries with the guards. After all, they are there to protect and represent, not to pose for tourist photos. 9. Stop wavering. If you're a parent planning a trip to London with your kids, one of the first things to teach them is to respect boundaries, especially around the royal guards. Known for their unbreakable composure and strict discipline, these guards aren't there for entertainment. But on New Year's Day 2012, a group of kids learned this lesson firsthand, thanks to a guard who decided to make an unforgettable impression. It all started with a few boys giggling and playing near the fence by the guard's post. They probably thought their antics were just harmless fun, getting a laugh by teasing the stoic guard. But they didn't expect any response from him. In a calm, yet commanding tone, the guard spoke up. "Stop wavering."
Get off the fence!
Startled, the boys jumped back, wide-eyed. For them, it might have been a playful moment, but the guard's firm warning was a wake-up call. They suddenly realized this wasn't the place for their games. Not only did he stop their innocent fun, but he also left an impression that would likely stick with them. The guard's response was perfectly professional. He didn't scare them, but he clearly showed that even in silence, boundaries exist and should be respected. 8. Man attempts to confront the royal guards. Trying to start a fight with a royal guard is never a wise choice. Yet one tourist in Oslo thought he could get away with it. As he approached the palace guards in Norway, he seemed to believe they were there just for fun and photos. While these guards might look ceremonial with their plumed hats and crisp uniforms, they're fully trained, disciplined soldiers. Ignoring this, the tourist challenged the guards, squaring up like he was about to win a street fight. Things went wrong fast. As soon as he crossed the line, the guards didn't hesitate for a moment. With calm professionalism and precision, They had him immobilized in seconds, sending a clear message that they weren't playing around. The crowd, initially entertained by his antics, quickly fell silent as they watched him get detained. At that point, he was probably realizing just how far out of his league he was. Even after being detained, he brazenly tried to walk away, as if he'd simply been asked to leave a cafe for being too loud. But the Norwegian guards weren't about to let him off that easily. Their job isn't to provide comic relief for tourists. He was quickly handed over to local authorities who made sure he learned a lesson in respect that he won't soon forget. 7. Keep your hands off the reins. Nothing fascinates tourists more than a royal guard on horseback. Nearly everyone wants that perfect picture next to one of these impressive animals. But sometimes, excitement takes over, and that's when the trouble begins. At Buckingham Palace, a big, clear sign warns visitors to keep their distance from the horse's reins. But one eager tourist seemed to think this rule didn't apply to her. Seeing the reins so close, she couldn't resist. Just as her fingers reached for them, the guard's commanding voice cut through the air. "Do not touch the reins."
Do not touch the reins!
She quickly pulled back. Most people would have taken the hint, but not her. She edged closer again, camera in hand, clearly intent on getting her perfect shot. The guard repeated his warning, this time more firmly, reminding her to keep her distance. Undeterred, she approached a third time. By now, other tourists were watching, noticing how she kept ignoring the guard's warnings. Finally, the guard firmly shouted for her to step away, making it clear that she'd crossed a line. Instead of the quick photo she wanted, she ended up drawing attention for all the wrong reasons, having ignored multiple instructions meant to keep both her and the horse safe. 6. Girl's foolishness. This young woman had an overly confident attitude, assuming she was important enough for a royal guard to break his composure just to fetch her glove. She was at the palace, surrounded by tourists, admiring the guards in their iconic uniforms. Instead of quietly observing, she tossed her glove at a guard's feet, expecting him to pick it up. Maybe she thought it would be funny, or perhaps she didn't realize how dedicated the guards are to their duties. Either way, her little stunt didn't go as planned and ended in an awkward surprise. The guard, as expected, didn't move a muscle. His training prepared him to ignore any distraction, even something as obvious as a glove thrown in front of him. He stayed completely focused, scanning the crowd as if nothing had happened. Meanwhile, she stood there, a bit shocked and growing more embarrassed by the second. Onlookers watched in silence, feeling her discomfort as she slowly realized her mistake. Then, things took an even more amusing turn. The glove had landed in a restricted area, so she couldn't simply walk over and pick it up. She waited there, hoping for assistance. Finally, a senior guard, clearly experienced in handling such moments, stepped in. With visible patience, he retrieved her glove and handed it back, making it clear he was not amused. She mumbled a quick "thank you," blushing, and made a swift exit. 5. Noble fist. No one learned a tougher lesson than the man who thought he could get away with taunting a Queen's Guard. On a chilly day, while tourists, bundled in coats, admired the Queen's Guard in their famous red uniforms, tall bearskin hats, and polished boots, the guards performed their inspection at Wellington Barracks, a time-honored tradition to ensure precision and dignity for state events. But in the midst of this disciplined display, a bold heckler decided to push his luck. The man began mocking one of the guards, likely hoping for some reaction. He clearly underestimated the discipline of these soldiers, but this time he took things too far. After enduring the taunts, one guard finally had enough. In one swift, controlled move, he threw a punch that knocked the troublemaker out cold.
Don't be an idiot.
You can't do nothing.
The crowd gasped, watching in shock as the heckler lay sprawled on the ground, instantly regretting his decision. That punch was a strong reminder that these guards aren't just ceremonial. They're highly trained soldiers. Meanwhile, the other guards carried on with their inspection under the watchful eyes of Major General Ben Bathurst and the no-nonsense Garrison Sergeant Major Andrew Stokes. For that overly confident heckler, this wasn't just a royal display. It was a sharp lesson not to mess with the Queen's Guard. 4 fun dance moves. Actress Ada Sharma, known for her playful spirit, recently found herself in the midst of a social media uproar after posting a video of herself dancing next to a British Royal Guard at Windsor Castle. While she aimed to entertain her fans with her quirky antics, many viewers deemed her behavior disrespectful, labeling it the worst kind of tourist conduct. In the viral video, Ada can be seen dancing to her Bollywood hit Shake It Like Shammy, moving energetically while the guard, dressed in his traditional uniform and wearing an intense expression, stands nearby. As she continues her performance, the guard suddenly marches away, leaving her flustered, a moment that some found amusing, but others considered inappropriate. Netizens quickly flooded the comments with critiques, arguing that her actions were not only disruptive, but also reinforced stereotypes of loud and disrespectful tourists. Ada often shares humorous content and enjoys engaging with her fans in a light-hearted manner, but this time, the response was quite different from her usual support. Many pointed out that such behavior contributes to negative stereotypes about Indian tourists abroad, making it a sensitive topic. The social media buzz intensified when Bollywood photographer Viral Bhayani reposted the video, attracting even more views and criticism. Currently, Ada is on a break from acting, with her most recent role in Commando 3. This controversy has sparked a lively debate about the fine line between fun and respect in travel behavior. While the actress likely didn't anticipate such a strong reaction, her video serves as a reminder that a little extra awareness in public spaces can go a long way. 3. Guards call. Think we're done with videos of unruly kids on field trips? Think again. This group of young tourists, likely on a school outing, was waiting in line to see a historic castle. But rather than appreciating their surroundings, they were more amused by the royal guard on duty, who was patrolling with his usual impeccable posture and precise steps. Instead of showing respect, they broke into laughter, finding the guard's serious demeanor oddly funny. One of the kids took it further, crouching down to try and make eye contact with the guard, while another laughed so hard she nearly toppled over. For them, it was just harmless fun, until the guard had enough. Surprisingly, it wasn't their laughter that set him off, but something simpler. One of the girls had leaned on the rope marking the waiting area, and that was the last straw. In a commanding voice, the guard called out, "Get off the rope!"
Get off the road!
Their laughter evaporated instantly, replaced by stunned silence. The shock on their faces spoke volumes. The awkward hush that followed made it clear they'd crossed a line. Next time, these tourists might think twice and remember that some places call for a bit of respect, or at the very least, keeping their hands off the rope. 2. Royal Guard's wrath. Is it too much when a royal guard raises his voice, or even his weapon, at tourists? Picture this. You're at Buckingham Palace, taking in the grandeur, and just as you lean in for a closer look, one of the famous royal guards steps forward, his voice booming.
Stay off the bench!
As he signals with his rifle everyone to back off. This very scenario recently unfolded, and while some quickly labeled it an overreaction, it's important to consider the guard's perspective. Royal guards are not there for entertainment. They have a serious duty to protect one of the most iconic buildings in the world. These guards undergo rigorous training and their focus is on staying vigilant, prepared for any situation. On this day, the guard had already politely asked visitors twice to step back, yet some tourists couldn't resist pushing their luck, likely thinking it was all part of the show. By the third warning, as his patience wore thin, he used his rifle as a firm reminder that this is a serious job, not a photo opportunity. Now imagine if someone tried a stunt at the White House. The response would probably be much more severe. The guard's reaction was a direct response to tourists testing boundaries. While it may seem harsh, it serves as a reminder to respect those who are on the front lines of security. So, the next time you find yourself at Buckingham Palace, take in the view. But remember that these guards are there for a real purpose. Just because you're on holiday doesn't mean their work is on pause. 1. Clear the path for them. When will people finally learn that standing in front of the royal guards is the ultimate rookie mistake? There's always that one tourist who thinks they've found the perfect spot, right in the path of a marching line of soldiers, completely oblivious to the no-stopping policy these guards adhere to without fail. In this case, one family was excited to be at the castle, eager to witness the famous Scots Guards in action. Having heard tales of the ceremonial marches, they figured the best view would be right up front. The father carefully positioned the stroller with their baby, unaware that they had chosen the absolute worst spot, directly in the guard's path. As the guards approached, the family watched in awe, completely unfazed by their presence. The soldiers marched in perfect formation, showing no signs of sidestepping or slowing down for anyone. It was only when the father realized they were in the way that panic set in. Just then, the lead guard spotted the baby and shouted, "Make way!
Make way!"
Honestly, they should consider themselves lucky. These soldiers are trained to keep moving, no matter the obstacle. The guards' unwavering focus and determination to stay on course are part of their training, with no exceptions. Yet, when the lead guard saw the baby in the stroller, he made the rare decision to issue a warning. We'd love to hear your thoughts about the Queen's Guards. Please leave your comments below and remember to subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.